Good evening, everybody. Welcome to All Four Back, episode 66. We have a bit of a different lineup for you tonight, but as always, I am joined by Shads. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, everyone.
And we're also joined by Shads' captain, the Panthers man, Mr. Capesy. Good evening, sir.
Hello, guys. Hope you're all well.
All good, mate. All good. So we're just going to do a quick run through of what's coming up on tonight's show. We have the GP race card and leaderboard reviews, along with the same for the SCS from last Sunday. A little break, and then the Knockout Cup review, Shads' Ride of the Week, and the previews for Week 14. So we'll start off tonight's show with the GP, which was from Norwich last Sunday. And as you can see there, Stefan taking the victory with 19 points, dropping just the 2 points over his 7 rides. But I'm going to bring Shads in first, if I may. Pretty solid night for you there, Shads. 8 points, but just missed out on the semi-finals, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, and I beat the world champion in my first heat, which was fun. Very big shout out to Fecky for holding Paris up for 3 laps, so I could get a bit of steam up and get far enough ahead. And I think Fecky gave up after 3 laps and went into the grass. He'd done his pacemaking job, and then but by then it was all over. But that was probably the highlight for me. Mr. School got past me, I think, on the last bend in one of them. But not a great track. I think a lot of people would agree with it. Not a brilliant racing track. It's a bit of a gate and go. I mean, if I can gate and not get past, then that's telling you something, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's I mentioned Owen, who got taken ill. I messaged Sizzler earlier, and he said he's recovering. But it's unfortunate for the lad to go to A&E, and Sizzler had to miss his last race to go over there. But no, he's Owen's on the mend, so I think they're away on holiday for a few days anyway. So that's good. Hopefully, a bit of rest, and he'll be back to take his place in the second leg of the KO Cup in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Hopefully, yeah.
Well, you need them.
Well, we'll get to that a bit later on. Yeah, Owen was meant to ride number 1 in the GP, obviously. Unfortunately, he couldn't do that. And then I know Sizzler got a quick couple of races in. He had back-to-back races in 12 and 13, got those in and had to dash off, unfortunately. So, but 8 points was still a decent total from 4 rides. Marecki, I want to mention as well. He came in as a replacement and finished second. I think, did he have the previous? I'm not sure if he had the previous track record or from here beforehand. And then he just hits that time again there in Heat 8, 42.6. I mean, I was nowhere near that myself. I mean, have you got 0.6 on that track? I just don't know. But a decent showing from Marecki there. And also, you got Craig, who finished on the podium in 3rd. And also, Adzu came in as a replacement. It's been a long while since he rode in the GP. Reeled off 4 wins out of 5 in his heats. And a decent second. And unfortunately, the exclusion in the last race. So, yeah, it's good couple of replacements in there. I'm going to bring Capesy in, if I may. Anybody stand out or didn't do what you expected in this one?
Well, I've got to give a shout out to Lofty. 12
Good
points
shout.
in his 5 rides. Unfortunately, obviously, whatever happened in the semi-final happened. But you've covered all of my points. Ads, I was going to say Marecki, Ads, all done well. Obviously, getting to the final. In the final, if you make the gate and you can get out in front fresh air, you're laughing. But obviously, when you got Stefan in there, you're not so much laughing. But yeah, Lofty for me stand out in that. Obviously, Shads was unlucky, but yeah, Cappy probably would have expected better. But it is what it is. It's GP. It's going to be tough in that. Me and you found that out last season, Hads.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like
Yeah.
we both went in there going, it's probably going to be the toughest meetings that we've ever had. And like you find out straight away, there's no inch given. If you leave that gap, they're in there, they're gone. And
Yeah,
as they say in real life, you're chasing the back wheels then.
yeah, unfortunately.
But yeah, apart from that, I think you two have nailed what I was going to say anyway.
Yeah.
So
We'll just have a look at the leaderboard then, if we can. We've also got Mr. Tank back with us tonight. We didn't mention him at the start of the show. Sorry about that, Tank.
no one needs to worry about Tank.
Had a few weeks off. So obviously with there, Stefan now has a 6-point lead with 2 rounds remaining. I think it could have been a little less if Sizzler had his last ride, he'd have got a couple of more points, but he'd probably still been 3 or 4, 5 points at most. Freeway race now for the title, obviously, with 20 points to Craig is a big old gap to 4th place. We're going to be interesting. The ones below the qualifying positions, Shad, you included in that, Shads. You're only 7 points behind Bobby, who didn't ride in this round. Also, Lofty, he's only 8 points back, and he's only rode in the 3 rounds. He's the replacement now. Also, unfortunately, with the news, Ryan was dropping out. So he's not going to be in the GPs for the remainder. So we're going to see what's going to be the solution there in the next couple of weeks, hopefully. But Shads, can you see yourself challenging for that 8th spot in the last 2 rounds?
Well, mathematically, yeah. It's gonna be. I mean, if Bobby rides in the last couple of meetings, I can't see myself catching him. Squall's pretty consistent. Difficult. If it wasn't for that, I mean, first meeting only scored 3 points. It could have been a bit closer, but no, I think it's Lofty's probably got a better chance than me, to be honest with you. I mean, he told me he was in 2nd place in the in his semi-final, and he tried to dive inside, and I don't know what he was thinking, and grasped. I think 2nd place would have got him into the final. Obviously, chance to get grab a couple of points, or maybe 1 or 2 points more. But Lofty would be my man to look at if he rides in the last 2 meetings. I think he's pretty much ridden in every meeting this season. I don't think he's missed a meeting for Panthers.
No, I don't think he has either.
I think no, he's very keen. He's always practiced. He's always one of the ones that's practicing. I think he practices most nights when we're open. So I think Lofty's really got his appetite for the game now. And I think if Bobby or Squall or even Cappy don't perform in the last 2 meetings, I think he could sneak into maybe the top 8.
Yeah, I can't see why not. I'm pretty 28 points over the 3 rounds. He's rode just under 10 points a meeting. He's got every chance, to be fair. So we'll have to wait and see what happens in the final 2 rounds of the season. As we switch gears to the SCS, which was also on Sunday. And as you can see there, it was a win for the Panthers rider Scotty B and his teammate in second as well there, Bewitcher.
Can we just celebrate that we got first and second right now? It's not happened often, but can we just celebrate it?
Yeah, to be fair, the races I rode against both of them, I mean, the race I was in Scotty was just gated, he'd gone. And that was it. The same with Bewitcher, to be fair. I mean, apart from that first race, little blip, first and second all the way through for both of them. It's pretty good stuff. So we're going to bring in Shads now, if we can, and ask you for your views on these ones.
I believe that's your first final in the SCS this season. Is that be right?
Yeah, that's right.
It is. Yeah, your first final. Yeah, 9 points. That's not a decent. That's a decent haul. Capesy, you've 2 semi-finals this season.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, but I said as well, I always bottle the semi-finals.
Yeah, big shout out to the 2 Panthers lads, Scotty and Bewitcher. We had a little celebration afterwards. We were very pleased with that.
Chad didn't have his cake though.
Third in the 14 tournament, and then top 2 in the SCS round 5. Shout out also to Cam and Jan. Jan had a really good turnout, and Cam. I mean, Jan's when we look at the table, Jan's sort of like I'd say probably the favourite now to win it. First win this week for the Panthers. Oh, hello, Sis.
It's not long, let's be honest.
Listen, we don't get a mention very often without people laughing. So, you know, it's nice to have some good news for a change to report.
Yeah, I also want to mention Heppel, to be honest.
If you saw the group chat, if you saw the meeting chat as well, he was like, "Oh my god, it's my first semi." I hope he told his missus, otherwise he's going to have a bit of a problem, isn't he?
Oh dear. Yeah. As I was saying, Heppel, I want to give him a little mention too as well, because he came in pretty late on. And we was after 8:00. He got asked if he was about. He said he was about, so he jumped in, barely any practice, and got to the semi-final. So a pretty good 9 points there for Heppel. Who else were we going to look at? Sorry, there was somebody else I wanted to mention as well. Our mate Alan. Obviously, in his first race there with against the Tank. I want to just bring Tank in a little bit and talk us through the so-called fencing. I think it was grassing.
Yeah. And I mean, it wasn't a great race, I have to say, from a personal point of view. But yeah, I thought, well, I wanted to get past Alan, but I did nothing at all. And that there is a slight bit of contact, but you don't see it. But there is something going into the bend. But I hadn't touched him at the point where he decided to go into the grass at all. And I don't know how I got the blame for that, because
I watched the recording a few times, and you didn't. There was no way he just turned too early and went into the grass.
Tank, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Was trying to get past Alan a bit like when people are trying to get past you? When you put your big back end in the way?
Sort of.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure.
The difference is that I can hold out.
Oh, well, that's up to you, mate. Like,
oh dear. Yeah, it was a pretty. Just bring you back in for a second, Capesy.
Hello.
5 second places in your heats, and pretty solid until you got to that semi-final there. To be fair.
Yeah, in the 5 heats, I was just like, just keep getting second. The Shads will probably remember from our team chat. I was just like, I just want to win. just need a win. And it just never came. And I was like, oh, here we go again. But obviously I started to, after I think it was my third or fourth heat, sort of worked out who was like just outside the top 8. And I was
Yeah.
sort of marking myself against their scores. So if one of them, like, I don't know, came third and I got second, I was a bit like, right, I'm a little bit further in front. And then obviously getting second in my last heat, I think, was that against you? No.
That was the one before.
Yeah. But I think
With me, you, and Tim.
our one, it was like I was catching you, and then all of a sudden I'd ride the wrong line, and then you'd go again, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, but I'm happy to make a semi-final again, and maybe one of these days I might win something, but you never know.
It's just about accumulating
Yeah.
points at the moment, isn't it? Just to stay in that top 8. I mean, you've got Skyrider, who's probably who may ride his last 2 meetings. I don't know. Summer's here, so he'll be doing the theme park tour. So we don't know about him, but I think he's the main danger from.
Oh yeah,
top 8
100%.
perspective. I mean, Bewitcher seems to have got his appetite back now with that 17 points. After his first ride, I think he was thinking, why did I bother? But then he reeled off like 4 wins in a row.
Is that
So,
the old Bewitcher that we're seeing come back?
Well, hopefully.
Yeah, that's you and me are both
for the
saying
rest
that.
of the season.
Yeah,
For the rest of
but
the season,
it
hopefully.
could well be that he's coming back into, I don't know, some
I
form.
think the winner's going to come out of the top 3. I can't see JC getting enough points back. I mean, Big Slow Caney's blown his chances down. He missed the last 2 meetings.
I said, I think in my eyes, there's going to be one winner unless he misses around, and I think that'll be Jan.
Yeah, you'd think so. I wouldn't rule out Scotty. I wouldn't rule out Scotty or Cam.
No,
Yeah, he needs one poor meeting. You know, like maybe to get 7, 8, 9 points.
yeah.
One of the others gets sort of 17, 18 points, and it's just all back in it again. You know.
See, and I also think you look from Ben Thompson down to Westy. There's 11 points, and you've got 4 of the automatic places for next season, and there's 7 of us racing for that.
But thing is with the SCS, it's difficult. It's difficult not to qualify in the qualifiers, if you know what I mean. I mean, you know, it's a qualifier for the GP, but to miss out on the SCS, you've got to be pretty crap on the night.
Can we reword that, because I did miss out. I did,
Yeah,
because
you did. Yeah.
obviously you qualified for the GP, and then Le Sorcier and who else done it? I don't know. Someone else qualified. It gave me this chance. Otherwise, I'd probably on my Sundays, I'd be just going, damn. Like we're luckily enough that all 8 of our riders are either in the SCS or the GP. So we're sort of always going to be on the game. But you look at some teams, there's probably 3 or 4 in it, and then 4 lads are missing out. So it's just trying to keep the momentum going, and you're getting the laps, which counts. All right, if you win it, it's a bonus. If you qualify, even better. But coming towards 2 rounds left comes a real pain, because you got to think, for me, I need to outscore Skyrider, Rico, and Westy. Bewitcher, I've got a feeling will just fly up now. Probably get maybe 5th at a push if he scores like he has. He'll end on 65 points.
But then you got the lottery of that final track at Pirate Speedway.
Yeah,
which is one of them circle tracks, which is going to be.
Close your eyes and hope for the best. Yeah,
you can't predict that at all. So
no, but again, it's so hard, because anybody can make that, from, like I said, from Ben to Westy. Anyone.
Yeah, I have to agree with that one.
And maybe possibly Wayne is in that as well.
Yeah,
Well,
depends if you miss
I know
any
he's
rounders.
I know he's 14 points in front of Westy, but like you said, you've got Sis scored a 21-point max. What, 2 rounds ago? Scotty got
Yeah.
19 on Sunday. Bewitcher 17. You can easily drag that 14 points back. One of you has a bad round. 14 points.
Also people missing rounds as well. You
Yeah.
can't really afford to miss a round now if you're in the top.
No.
If you're in the top 8. I mean,
Exactly.
maybe from sort of like from Wayne downwards, like Wayne, Ben, David, yourself, and Bewitcher. Can't really afford to miss a round now.
See, and I think Sky missing the last 2 rounds puts a bit more pressure
Yeah.
on him, really.
You'd think he'd be up in the top 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Or the top 5 at least.
And the way he's been racing this season as well, you'd expect it. But
yeah,
again, you miss 2 rounds and you're chasing again.
Yeah, definitely agree there. Now I think that's probably why I'm 6th at the moment, because apart from the top 3, I'm one of very few who's rode in every round.
Yeah.
Obviously, Ben's the same as well.
Yeah, you, Ben, Rico, and then obviously the top 3.
You got to think Rico's 5 points off and he's missed a race every round.
Yeah, because of obviously being in with Cam, isn't it?
Yeah. So we never know what's going to happen in the old SCS, but if I've got enough points after the next round, I might have a sick note for the last one. We'll have to wait and see. But we are going to go on to a little break very shortly, and then we're going to come back with the Knockout Cup review, the Shads' Rider of the Week, and I look forward to the week ahead in our league reviews. So we'll be back in 2 minutes. So don't go away. And welcome back to episode 66 of the Awful Back podcast with myself, Hadlington83, Shads, and Capesy. We're going to move on to the Knockout Cup final first leg, which took place a few days ago at Newcastle it was the Newcastle Wolves versus the Powder Hall Scorchers. Obviously, I was involved in this one myself for the Wolves, but I'm going to bring in the neutral first. I'm going to bring in Shads first, if I can. What was your take on the first leg?
Neutral, up the Scorchers.
Behave yourself.
Only joking. It's only because I've guessed from this season. No. Yeah, I'm neutral. Yeah. I think the big talking point would be Cezanne Owen missing. I think rider replacement and the guest only scored 10 points. And you'd like to think that between them they'd have scored a lot more than that, especially the way that Owen's been going this season. But it is what it is. Very strange to see Paris not winning a meeting at home in 6 attempts. That didn't help them. Didn't help the Wolves at all. But all credit to the Scorchers, who two top guys there in Lima and Cam. I think the Scorchers had 11 heat wins out of the 15. So that tells you everything you need to know. I've still got a sneaky feeling that a full strength Wolves side could get a result at Powder Hall. Whether they can get enough points to get the 8 back, I'm not sure. And also credit to Squall. He's paid 8 from his guest appearance. Least said about the other guests, the better. But no, it's a good team performance. Even with Alan not scoring a point, 49-41 away from home. It's definitely in the Scorchers. Ball's in the Scorchers' court now. Wolves are going to have to pull something out of the hat, but I still think they can do it with a full strength team. Adlington, you've ex-Powder Hall rider, so you'll know your way around.
Yeah, to be fair, I'm quite looking forward to the second leg and to the meeting next week. To be honest,
yeah, of course, yeah. You've
obviously,
got
I
dress
guested
rehearsal
there.
next week. Yeah.
I guested there for him in the first match of the season against the Dragons, and that was pretty good fun, to be fair. So, but they are a really strong team. Scorchers, they got a good guesting in Squall there, knows his way around Newcastle as well. Obviously Cam just missing out on that maximum in the last race. But yeah, I think we definitely missed obviously Sizzler and Owen for sure. But I've got to give massive props to Pompey scoring double figures from reserve as well. It's his best meeting this season by a long way, I'd say. But I'm going to bring in Mr. Capesy, and I know you've got a few views on a couple of riders, I believe.
Yeah, unfortunately. Pompey, unreal. Absolutely unreal. Dropping, obviously, he didn't get paid maximum, but the only race he didn't score in. And, all right, it is what it is, but 10+1 from a number 6. As a captain, you're laughing at that. You just want to hope that everyone else chips in with points. And unfortunately, there's one rider that got 1 point. And if Badger, you'd probably expect a little bit more from. Obviously, I know you said earlier that he changed a bit around. Like, I don't get it. I just don't get it. He knows he's better than 1 point, but is he still as interested as what he was a few seasons ago when he was with Steph? Who knows? But yeah, full strength Wolves team. They're pulling that back. Maybe lose by 1 or 2 overall, but I think they can pull that 8 points back. 8 points back, and who knows, maybe a runoff. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
That'll make it for good viewing, to be fair.
Yeah, runoff. That's where your captain's head comes on. Who do you pick? Top scorers or Trackcraft? But for Scorchers, Cam, he'll be disappointed that he didn't get a maximum, but supporting Limo was my number one at the end of last season. Couldn't ask for a better number one to be in your team. He, unreal, will practice as much as he can, helps you guys out. And Cam, for me, so far, rider of the season. McNally, again, he's come on really well in this season, which I'm sort of surprised about, but I'm not, if that makes sense. He's not playing the other Speedway game that we won't talk about, but he's focusing more on this one, I feel. So again, he could have a big season and end up possibly getting out of the number 7 berth. Oh, I know you can change it around as a captain, but I can see him adding some, probably going up to a 4 average. But apart from that, this final's still well open and could be anyone.
Yeah, definitely. I do agree with that. I did actually surprised that Alan didn't get anything, to be honest, because he rode with us at Pyman at Newcastle last season. And he improved there a hell of a lot especially towards the end of the season. So I was a little bit surprised he didn't score. But obviously he got taken out the last race, which was definitely another good piece of captaining there from Limo, putting David Novia in 14.
I've just looked from Heat 12. Scorchers all got a heat advantage, which helps. That's so close to the end of the meeting. You're going into Heat 15, you're 6 points down. Your best bet for me personally, I'd be hoping for a 5-1. So at least we'll lose by 2 points. But yeah, it's not so much heartbreaking because it isn't like your big defeats, but 8 points down. Wolves have Sis Owen in. Maybe not have Badger. Depends on how well he practices. But yeah, you have Sis and Owen in. Wolves are winning that first leg.
Yeah, I've got to say as well, obviously we did miss them. I know Ryan got unlucky in a couple of his races. Only got in 6 points, but credit to him for stepping in and guesting, to be fair. Going back to Badger, obviously, as a teammate of Badger this season, I think he's a bit like I was at the start of the season. I think it's more, he knows he can do it, but he's stopping himself from doing it, kind of thing. And he'll say, like, I forgot which heat it was when he was in one of the heats he've had. He's like, oh, sorry. I was like, well, what did you actually do wrong? You're not, like, you came last, but you're trying. Okay, everyone, we all make mistakes, but just, get it out your head, race the track instead of the riders, if you like. Because
Can't knock him if he's trying, can you?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think it was his last. Was it his last race? I think he said he was leading Heat 14, and then obviously he's looking at the rider rather than just hitting the line, and that's obviously somewhere in his head that he can't do it, kind of thing. But we know from previous that he can. He wouldn't be averaging 6:41 from before if he wasn't. To be fair, so yeah, just one of those, unfortunately, and. Limo got the guess right and the decisions right on the night, and the better team won, to be fair, in my opinion. So with that being said, we are going to move on to Shadz's Rider of the Week. So over to you, Shads.
Another difficult one. Obviously, looking at the KO Cup meeting, Limo, absolutely masterful around Newcastle. I know he loves the track. Very good, very impressive score from Pompey. Paid 11 from his 6 rides. Brilliant. Big shout out to, again, Scotty and Bewitcher, the 1-2 in the SCS on Sunday. I'm going to have to give it, and I think he's already won it this season. I'm going to have to give it again for his 2 meetings, 13 from 5 rides in the KO Cup and 15 points from his 6 rides in the SCS. Young Cameron.
Well done, Mr. Cam. We won't mention the semi-final, but
He still thinks I hate him. He still thinks I hate him, though.
You do, don't you?
No, well done, Cam.
Only when he
Fair
rides
play.
against me.
Oh, I knew I'd heard you say it somewhere before, but I couldn't remember where it was.
Oh dear me. Yeah,
No, well,
fair play.
it's deserved over the 2 meetings. I think if it had just been just going on the KO Cup, he probably would have given it to Pompey or Limo. But over the 2 meetings, I think you can't really argue with with his performance in both meetings. Although he did bottle his semi-final in the SCS, but no, well deserved, young man. Well done. Now all you've got to do now is get yourself a bloody laptop.
I knew that something like that was going to come.
All right, get your dad to get a laptop. Mind you, he is Scottish, so he doesn't want to shell out.
I'm trying.
Fair play. Right, we are already out. Well done to Cam for his rider of the week. As we move on now to the league previews for next week, and the first match is a repeat of last week's first leg. The Scorchers taking on the Wolves. Shads, I'm going to bring you in first. What do you think it's going to go up in this one?
I don't know what to make of this one, because I mean, it's dress rehearsal for the second leg of the final, but you won't really want to take anything away. I mean, both teams are looking for league points. Obviously, Wolves want to cement their place at the joint top of the league, and Scorchers aren't out of it by any means. Only 3 points behind. Difficult, and you're looking at the elephant in the room is availability. We don't know who's going to be available for this. You can see Scorchers winning. You can see Wolves winning. Whether Smiler needs to ride in at least 2 more meetings out of the 4 to make his minimum, and Tintin's on the edge as well. So with the Smiler not having much track time recently, if he rides, he's going to have to pull something out. But you can see if Sizzler and Owen are back in the side, you can see Wolves sneaking a win here.
I do hope you're right, obviously, for obvious reasons. But Capesy, what's your prediction for this one on Monday?
I pretty much agree with what Shads has said. The top 4 for each team. Can you imagine if it was a 4-team tournament again, and it was those 2, like say 4v4 meeting? That'd be one hell of a meeting. But again, like Shad said, comes down to availability. Smiler, Badger.
Well, Limo's just said that Smiler's riding, so that'd be interesting with his lack of track time. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know.
So you say the top 5 for Scorchers, then it comes down to the 2 reserves. Tintin around, probably at 6. David No Fear at 7.
Yeah, I think Alan's rode his meeting, well, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's what I was. But you have David No Fear, and if he's at 7, and if he's like on it, like David No Fear was a few years ago, could be the match winner down there. But you got to look at the way the Wolves bottom end performed the other day. Anything can happen. If we could get a live stream, or I know do a speedway on the telly, because I'll be there, get to see my big bald head, but we'll leave that. If you could get a live stream for this meeting, imagine the amount of people that would want to watch it.
You got to think about the next few fixtures. Scorchers have got 2 more home meetings to race, and whilst Wolves have only got 1. So if Scorchers win this, they're right back in the title hunt. Right back in it.
It's so close. I've
Top
got it right.
3.
Yeah, I've got it right down here that Powder Hall will win 47-43. That's how close I think it will be. I did think about a draw, But I just think Powder Hall being at home, they're going to know the little tricks of the track. Obviously, everyone's rode on it, but I just feel that they'll have that little bit more edge to win. We know you do, Sis. We know you love a close meeting, mate.
No, to be fair,
I think the away meetings are going to be crucial with 4 points available.
yeah.
Did you just see what Tank wrote? Tintin has 3, David has 1, and Alan has 2 left to ride to meet their minimum. So looking at that, for me personally, I probably would leave Alan out for this one if Tintin and David are available, just because of how big of a meeting it is.
No pressure head.
Yeah, I just saw that as well.
I was going to add in a stat that from when we rode at Powder Hall the last time in season 16, David Nofia's home average was 9.14.
This backs up what I was saying. If he's at number 7 and he performs like he did a few years ago,
Yeah.
that could well be your match winner. And if he is and he doesn't get Rider of the Week, I'll be kicking off with Shads, don't worry.
To be fair, we have been.
It could be a Panther. It could be a Panther next week. You never know.
Oh, let's hope so. The whole team, because we get our first point.
We've not had a Ride of the Week this season for obvious reasons.
Yeah, because we're being strong, holding up the league. You have to be strong at the bottom there, Shads.
Oh dear me. I'll just say we have obviously been putting quite a few laps in for obvious reasons. For this and this for the second leg. Obviously, I think if we can go there and get something here on Monday, then that'll give us a bit of extra. Make the scorchers think twice maybe about the second leg and know that what we're capable of on their track kind of thing. So
yeah, it's making a
it's
statement.
definitely going to be a tough one. Obviously, Scorchers win, they're back in the title race. I think if we win, I don't think we've lost away yet either. We've won the 2 matches we've had away.
Don't rub it in.
So,
beating us first meeting of the season. Thanks, mate. Appreciate that.
No, you mentioned that, not me.
That was probably the closest meeting that we've had.
And the points difference between the top 2 is almost identical as well. So it's going to be a really, really, really great. I like Skyrider mentioned in chat that we hope it will. We want to get this one streamed. We haven't had that many streams this year, to be honest with you. We did plan on having a stream a week, but obviously the way things have gone with not being able to get people to stream it. And now we've got 3 meetings on different nights, so hopefully referees won't be an issue, and we might be able to get a stream for this. We should really, because it's like a top of the table clash. And it's an interesting track as well, because it's one of those tracks where you can make up a lot of ground if you hit that fence line. You get that boost. It's not like a track where you're 4 or 5 lengths ahead. You're pretty much going to win the race. You can make up a lot of ground if you don't hit that boost, and someone behind you hits it. They're right up against you. So it's a nice track to watch meetings on, because it can swing either way.
I have to agree. Obviously, riding there for 2 seasons, to be fair. So it's obviously a fine line as well.
I used to hate it. I used to hate the track, but since I guested for the Scorchers this season, I quite liked it now. And I had more laps on it, and had a couple of tips off of Lima. I had to ride certain parts of the track. I really enjoyed it. So it's not a track that I'm frightened of now.
I kept hitting that fence boost. A shame it just kept going in the fence,
wasn't
it?
Some of the Wolves riders I think do quite well here. So it depends on the night, I suppose. Looking forward, if there is a stream, looking forward to watching it. It'd be good.
Definitely. I think the advantage that we might have.
Down to Wolfie to organise it now.
Oh
well.
Oh.
We'll wait and see.
Oh dear.
But I think the advantage we've got going into the second half of the season, points wise, 3 of our last 4 meetings are away, so we got more points to ride for.
Yeah.
So
I said
that
the 4 points
definitely
would be
be
crucial.
the difference come the end of the season. So now we're going to move on to our second match of the week, which involves a certain Shawfield Panthers
Who are they?
versus the Somerset Spartans, and
You
this one
said
is
it.
Tuesday at 8:30. So obviously the lineup's changed not long ago, and obviously Spartans with their changes, we're not going to be too sure who's going to be around for the Spartans.
Hopefully not Toby.
But I know it's been a while since you've rode at home. You're looking forward to this one and hopefully getting that monkey off your back, shall we say?
I bloody hope so. We've been so unlucky. Like we've had close meetings, and then obviously we've only been absolutely battered once at home. But again, these changes are unreal. Like Tank and Skyride are now down at reserve. I think Method's probably got a ride in the next 4, or needs to have a facility in the next 4. But my biggest fear, I'm not even going to lie, is Toby, because he's what did you say his average was earlier? Around,
I think about 10
Shawfield,
around
about
Shawfield,
10.
these 2 meetings. Yeah.
The only way you can stop him is,
Yeah,
unfortunately,
have you noticed though, ever since he stopped guesting and signed for a team, his scores have dropped.
yeah, until this week.
No, what are you bigging him up for, man? You're as
Because
old
you're more,
skipper. You should be giving us enthusiasm, not being telling us who to fear. Come on, that's not what skippers do.
hold on then. We're going to win
You're supposed to tell us
50-40.
you're
Shad's
supposed to
going to
give
get
us
a 21-point maximum.
like you said. I think you said earlier about method.
Yeah.
Method. He's actually got to physically ride in 2 meetings, I think, to get his 4 and a guest in the other 2.
So, yeah.
But finding a guest on that average is going to be difficult, especially if teams are riding on the same night.
But
So
yeah,
really, they think you'd have to ride in them in the 4 meetings.
generally, I do think that we will win on Tuesday, though.
You've changed your tune already.
No. I've got it down in my. Don't worry, I've done my research, mate. I've got it down in my notes. My name's not Winchester.
You've done it you've put it in for a draw on the predictions though.
Yeah, that's to keep it low key, mate.
Oh, okay, all right.
And when we win, vodka's all around.
Low key, like you're practicing, you mean?
And my average, but I'm average fixing. What are you on about? No, yeah, it's one of them. Like we have been so close to winning. We've pushed teams, and then it just little blips, not just from all of us sometimes, and that's what's cost us to win. Even a point, I think we were close somewhere the other week, and we missed out on a point by like a point, unfortunately. And
Well, that was at Newcastle, wasn't it?
yeah. And I
Yeah.
think our points are destined to come. And if we all click on the same night, we'll be unreal. Bit of a headache because all 8 are available. So again, it comes down to practice, which obviously Shads has just said that non-existent. Cheers, mate. But yeah, it's again Spartans. If Ryan brings, hopefully brings what he raced like the other day, that's a bonus because Cappy and Scotty round Shawfield, Scotty's gating all season. Round Shawfield, if he gates, you're just looking at a back wheel trying to defend against one of us coming through. But Westy, unreal for them when we went there, but obviously now in the main body. Wolfie, depends on what Wolfie turns up, don't it? Could have an absolute, yeah. If he's racing now, could absolutely have a blinder if he turns up and gets like maybe comes last in his first 2 rides, head's gone. And that's where in your main body, I highlighted it earlier with Badger with a 1 point. You need your main body riders at least getting 4 or 5 points. Obviously, if they can hit their average or get more, perfect. But you need them hitting them at least that amount of points. Having a flying reserve, you're laughing. Hurty's got a race in 2 of the last 4, and then obviously guest appearance, so that's nailed on. But that's all I'm giving away.
There we go. So, Mr. Hutty, getting his box ready for Tuesday, I believe. I think it's going to be interesting with the Spartans as well, if they've got most of their team available, how they line up, because you could pair Brendan Hart or Westy at 1 and 2 with Ryan. I mean, that is some partnership at 1 and 2. I mean, even the middle of the team, not out of number 5, who would have put number 5 probably Toby. But then you've got the partnership of Lofty and Bewitcher, both scored well last week in the SCS and GP. So, I mean, is that going to be possible partnership again? We'll have to wait and see. But that middle orders for me on both teams is going to be so important here, I think. So there we go for the Panthers and the Spartans. As we move on to our remaining fixture of the week, which sees the Cowboys take on the Dragons. And this one is a first for this season, as I believe it is the first league meeting to be on a Thursday.
Oh, damn.
Cowboys, obviously, at home. You'd fancy them with their team, with a full-strength team, but obviously, as we've seen in the 4-team tournament, their availability wasn't great. Obviously, Wayne and JC both missed the meeting on Sunday as well. Sun Rotten, I believe. I think someone has moved house. Someone said recently, so could end up being a tough night for the Cowboys. We'll have to wait and see what's going on with their team. As for the Dragons, obviously Kane again missed Sunday, and our mate number 8 there, Mr. Chester, we're not sure if he's going to be riding. So it could be top 7 for the Dragons, which I do think gives them the advantage in this one. But Shads, what's your thoughts on the Cows versus the Dragons?
You got start off. You got Stefan, next full Cowboy. You got riders like Scaller in top form at the moment. Stephen's always good for a good few points here. I've got a sneaky feeling Dragons are going to win this and get 4 points. Just my thoughts. I think they've got a lot. They've got so much to ride for. Whereas the Cowboys haven't really got anything to race for this season. Out of the cup, out of the league, I think Dragons will be hungry for the win to stay level at the top with the Wolves, and also they'll have the comfort, or maybe not, of knowing how Wolves got on in their league meeting. So they're the last to race this week. So they know what they've got to do, and I think I think the Dragons are gonna win this one. I've got a sneaky feeling they're going to get all 4 points here.
So Shads is going for an away win here. Capesy, are you thinking the same, or?
Yeah, I've gone for an away win, but by 6. I think there's going to be a lot of pressure on Bobby and Craig for the Cowboys. Obviously, if both are around. But like what Dad just said, you got Stefan at number 1. Rode at Paul last year. You got Craig coming in last season. Look at him round Paul. I know he probably won't like me saying it, but he beat Stefan twice. I know he was probably more active last season, but yeah, if Chester's not racing that top 7 for Oxford, Scroll at reserve, could he take if Heppel's having a bit of an off night, Heppel has 3 rides, Squall takes an extra ride. It's, yeah, for me, it's only going one way, and that's Dragons win.
So 2 Dragons wins from Capesy and Chad's there. I'm finding it hard to disagree, to be fair. Obviously, we don't know the full lineups, but I think obviously top 7 with Squall there at number 6. If Craigie or Dip or obviously Heppel are not quite on, I expect Squall to be having quite a few rides on Thursday. So there we have it. The Dragons and the Cowboys. And I believe that is all we have for tonight. Obviously, next week's show we'll be reviewing the Week 14 league action, the Rider of the Week, and the BGP and SCS draws will be next week, as well as the wildcard announcement and the preview for the Week 15 league action. But firstly, I will say, Mr. Capes, now you've been itching to get on for a while. Thanks for joining us tonight, mate, and stepping in.
That's all right. No worries at all. Been a pleasure as always.
Good man. And again, thanks to Shads, as always, for joining us. And Mr. Tank making his comeback as well, behind the scenes. And also, I did forget to say earlier, I'd like to thank Limo for running the GP meeting on Sunday, which allowed Tank, obviously, to race in the SCS, which was a bit of a change for Tank, but there we go. I don't think Tank quite knew what to do with himself, apart from ruffle Alan's feathers there, he says in chat. Yeah, so that is next week's preview. But until then, that is all. And I'm going to say a good night to Mr. Shads.
He's already gone to sleep, hasn't he? He's having his Horlicks.
He's getting his coffee in, isn't he?
No, he's getting his hot water bottle ready.
No, I'm here.
Oh.
Good night, all.
And a good night to Mr. Capes.
Good night, lads. Cheers.
And good luck for your meeting on Tuesday. And it's a good night from me. And we'll catch you all same time, same place next week. And until then, good racing and see you later.